Hey everyone, I'm Chris, and this is Cue the Credits. Welcome back to Cue the Credits, the home of everything boutique Blu-rays, physical media, and the art of collecting. I hope you are all having a wonderful start to the new year, and because we're in the start of a new year and the start of a new month, it is time for the What I Watched in December. And as you saw from the thumbnail, it is a big old list. I guess the one benefit of Christmas time is that it's cozy, you're getting to spend that time inside, you're getting to watch those comfort movies, and you just getting to like vegetate out, which especially by the back end of the month, that was exactly what was happening. I've got the letterbox on the phone, so let's get into it. First movie of December, and you've got to kick it off with a Christmas film, right? And that was Gremlins. This is the 4K version with this wonderful yellow slip here. First time that we'd actually watched this in 4K, and it looks great. I mean, is there much more that I can say about Gremlins that I haven't said at all? I love Gremlins. It is one of those like childhood comfort films for me, and it's most definitely a Christmas film. There's some people saying, oh, it's not a Christmas film, but no, Gremlins is definitely a Christmas film, and it's kind of an any time of the year film. It has made me want to watch Gremlins 2, the new batch though, so I'm really hoping for a 4K of that. That'd be lovely, but for now, Gremlins is the first one of the month. Oh, and of course, it's always good when the first movie I forget to rate it. Gremlins is a 4 out of 5 for me. Next up was a rewatch of The Holiday. This is of course the Kate Winslet, Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, Nancy Meyers directed holiday Christmas film. It is a staple rewatch in our household for Christmas, and you know what? Though it runs a little bit long, it is just a good Christmas time. Can't fault it too much. It's got a little bit of comedy popped in. It's really heavy on obviously the romancy rom-com, but everyone's given a good performance, including Jack Black in that early 2000s where he was really trying to find his footing. But even that doesn't discount it down from it being just a fun time. Moving on to what I'm probably going to put is my like top in cinema moment of the year. I got to watch Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. This was absolutely incredible. As you saw, it's 5 out of 5 from me. It was just perfection. Like, first off, to be able to see The Whole Bloody Affair on the big screen, already a win. To see it edited in the way that Quentin wanted it to go out, once again, incredible. It is 4+ hours of just pure Tarantino, and it was incredible. All I can say is it's incredible. Like, it's just a great time. Yeah, it was just great. No notes at all. Just did what it was. It was great. This version is all but confirmed to be coming out on physical media this year. So I cannot wait to see what editions we're going to get popped out. I mean, it's kind of a bit like, because I got the Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 steelbooks earlier in the year, but it's good to have all of the different versions because these are incredible films. Also on the back of The Whole Bloody Affair, also watched Kill Bill, The Lost Chapter, Yuki's Revenge. This is the Tarantino crossed with Fortnite collaboration of a lost chapter of Kill Bill that was never put in the original film, done in 3D animation with Fortnite characters. It's really weird. You can watch it on YouTube, which I would recommend doing. It's grown on me the more that I've sat with it, though it does take you out of it quite a bit when you see all the Fortnite characters and stuff like that. But hey, we're in 2025 and I guess it's fine. It's a really weird one, but it's actually quite a good story and very interesting to see, like, that lost chapter, and got Uma Thurman back, so that's a plus. Next up, watched Eternity in cinemas. This was a 4 out of 5 for me, as you saw. This is Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and Callum Turner in a, I don't want to say rom-com, it's more of a, yeah, I guess it's a drama with a slight bit of comedy drama. Yeah, comedy drama. With all of the main titular characters being dead and being in this limbo train station state where they have to find their own eternities. The twist being that Callum Turner's character is the passed away first husband of Elizabeth Olsen. Personally saw the trailer for this, I think during the Mission Impossible season, and I was like, oh, this looks quite interesting, haven't heard anything about it, and didn't expect anything crazy. Like I said, 4 out of 5. This had no right being as good as it was, but A24 smashed it out of the park again with their distribution here, and I don't want to get into too spoilery territory for it because it is just a good watch. I would absolutely recommend going and checking out Eternity. Then in preparation for Avatar Fire and Ash, me and the other half were rewatching Avatar. By rewatching, I was rewatching, the other half was watching for the first time. This is a 3.5 out of 5 for me. You know what? Considering this came out in 2009, it still looks darn good. And watching it on 4K with the full Dolby Atmos was an absolute treat. This first film has its roundabout way of problems, and that's totally fine. It is basically a proof of concept movie. I think it's done well, but it definitely lacks a certain oomph in parts, but it is still a really, really good time. Next up, and you probably won't guess it, it was Avatar: The Way of Water. Once again, in 4K and Dolby Atmos, it looks absolutely incredible on this disc. This was my standout of 2022. I absolutely adored seeing this in cinemas, and it really just awoke another love of cinema. It transported me straight into Pandora, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful movie. As you saw, this is a 4 out of 5 for me. Though it garners all of that high praise, it is not without its criticism. It does run a little bit long, and there are various lulls throughout the film, which in a 3-hour film, you kind of would expect it. Like, you've got to be really hitting the money to be just go, go, go throughout that. But it is still my favorite Avatar film. Spoilers for my upcoming notes on Fire and Ash. Next up was, of course, the staple Christmas film of Starship Troopers. This is a wonderful US exclusive steelbook, and I know I'm meant to be talking about what I watched, but look how nice this steelbook is. This was something I got a couple of months back. It's one of mine and the other half's favorite films, so we needed to watch it, and we had that little bit of free time, so pop this on. It is just an easy satirical action movie watch from Paul Verhoeven. Just, yeah, love Starship Troopers. The 4K looks absolutely great with the various HDR and sound enhancements. This steelbook, as you saw, looks absolutely incredible. No notes on Starship Troopers. It is easily in my kind of top films of all time. Adore it. Next, and this is purely just a placeholder because this was a film that we watched in the cinemas, and that was The Shining. This was an anniversary screening that various cinemas across the UK and I believe the rest of the world brought The Shining to IMAX, and being able to see it in that format was absolutely incredible. 4.5 out of 5 for me. The performances, the sets, they're just, I mean, it's The Shining, right? Getting to see it in a cinema, in IMAX, just, yeah, it ticked every single box for me. Absolute. Mwah, chef's kiss. Then watched Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. So I was trying to get into the Christmassy vibe. Other half hadn't seen this, and I was like, oh my God, you need to watch this. Like, this is a really, really good Christmas film. And it was a 2 out of 5 for me. I remember this being a lot more fun and enjoyable and a bit scarier, and it just kind of wasn't. It's like proper nostalgia goggles on it. It's still a fun, horror-y Christmas time. It's just not what I necessarily remember. It is what it is on that side of things. But if you haven't watched it, it is a like fun, horror-y Christmas film, as I noted in my like umbrella unboxing and Christmas pics on Christmas Eve. So I'd absolutely recommend checking it out. It just kind of didn't hit the mark as much as it was in my memory. Then watched Krampus. As you saw, this is a 3 out of 5 for me. Just a nice, good horror Christmas film. It is the right amounts of creepy and comedy. All the performances on show are stellar in this, and this is quickly becoming one of those Christmas traditions that we rewatch every year. Then watched The Wind in the Willows. This is the 90s like British comedy around the book The Wind in the Willows. Now this is something that I watched as a kid, and I had a YouTube video pop up about it maybe a few days before, and I was like, oh my god, I remember that film. That was fun, wasn't it? And you know what? After watching the video, I was like, I need to rewatch this because it was such a fun time. And it's basically Monty Python does The Wind in the Willows. It's a bit of a hard one to track down, but I would absolutely recommend checking it out. In the US, it is called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to coincide with like the Disneyland ride on that side of things. But absolutely, if you haven't watched it, it's like sub 90 minutes, just crazy fun. Then watched Possession. I have done a full video on Possession and my thoughts of Possession, so I'll link that up there, but this was a 3 out of 5 for me. It's definitely warranting a rewatch because it is a film that sits with you, but that was Possession, and this is a absolutely wonderful addition from Second Sight Films. Like I said, there's a few different videos on the channel about this edition if you want to have a bit more of a deep dive into it. Now we're getting into the proper like Christmas movies. So first up, we watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is Jim Carrey's early 2000s Grinch on 4K. It looks great. This is the 20th anniversary, not the new 25th anniversary that came out, but it still looks really, really good on 4K. Personally, I really adore this film. 4 out of 5 for me as Christmas movies go. And the more you watch it as an adult, the more you realize that it's quite an adult-centric film, actually. But yeah, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Then watched Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, and this is a 2.5 out of 5 for me. This film came out last year, and it's one of those films that I'm really trying to love, but it's definitely airing on a very Americanized version of Christmas. So all the vibes are there, and it's a very vibey film, and I love that, but there are a lot of Americanized idiosyncrasies in the film where, as a British person, you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really connect with that as much as I should. So I understand why people really, really love it, especially people who live in North America. It's still a really good film. It's just, yeah, it's growing on me. It was a 2 out of 5 last year. It's 2.5 this year. So it's getting there. It's getting there. But the vibe gave me that Christmas spirit. Then in the midst of a lot of Christmas wrapping and getting in that vibe of wrapping presents and watching a film while you're doing it, we watched The Muppets Christmas Carol. Once again, another 4 out of 5 Christmas film. It's Michael Caine in a Christmas film with the Muppets. What is more to love? I'm pretty sure this is my favourite version of like Scrooge and A Christmas Carol. I'm not sure there's one that tops it. Maybe the next film up, which is Scrooge. This is the Bill Murray's another 80s Scrooge comedy. I mean, there's always a Christmas Carol film, right? And there's always new versions of it coming out. Hell, there was one called Christmas Karma that came out this year. Didn't get to see it, but heard pretty dire things. Either way, Bill Murray in Scrooged. This is a absolute classic. Picked up the 4K. You can hear me talk about that in my what I bought in December video, but this looks great. Sounds great. It's 4 out of 5 as well. Potentially, well, I noted in my Letterboxd review that this is my favorite Christmas film. It really got me in the spirit until the next one, which we watched, was It's a Wonderful Life. And this was a 5 out of 5, just absolute perfection in a Christmas film. Now, as you've heard me kind of wax lyrical about wanting to get in that old nostalgia, old cinema times, this really ticked all those boxes. It's obviously a black and white film. It's got Jimmy Stewart in, and it is of that time. But first off, 4K looks absolutely incredible. No faults on that. And then the actual story is just brilliant, beautiful. Had me in the other half crying our eyes out. It is a staple rewatch in the house now, because this is, yeah, this is brilliant. And if you've never watched It's a Wonderful Life, like I said, this was the first time that me and the other half watched it. Absolutely go and watch it. 100% recommend. Next up, and we'll do like a 3-in-1 because they're all in one box set, and that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy. Of course, watched all of these because they've just come in from Arrow Video. First off, the 4Ks look absolutely great. The films, on the other hand, do have a certain level of charm from the 90s, let's just say that. I rated them 3, 2.5, and 2, with Turtles in Time just being, yeah, it's a film, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy, this is a really, really fun time. And it was just a nice nostalgic watch at Christmas. And half of Christmas is all about that nostalgia, right? Turtles. And then of course it is not Christmas without watching Home Alone. And with this is a little tear into like a Chris Columbus marathon over the like next couple of days, but it was well worth it. Home Alone is just a classic. Like, it is, yeah, it's an adored Christmas film. And then we get to Christmas Eve, and it's a Christmas tradition in our house. It is a 5 out of 5 Christmas film for me, and that is Klaus. This is the Netflix animated film, and don't get put off by the fact that it's headed up by Netflix. It is an absolutely amazing film. Potentially has one of the best iterations of Santa Claus as well, with J.K. Simmons heading up the titular Klaus character, and like I said, an absolute mainstay in our household for Christmas. Then, to sprinkle in a final little bit of Christmas Eve cheer, I finally watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. This was a 3.5 out of 5 for me. It was just a fun little short romp, a very interesting storyline, but a really heartwarming one at the same time. I'm a big fan of the Guardians anyway, so I'm a little bit disappointed in myself that it took so long for me to actually watch this, but it is well recommended. And Christmas Day was of course filled with a lot of social obligations and cooking and eating and just having a lovely time. But that didn't stop the films from flowing, and we finally got sat down right at the end of the day and watched Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Another 4 out of 5 Christmas film for me. As you can see, I quite enjoy Christmas films. I like the vibe, I like the way it makes me feel. Personally, I enjoyed this one more than Home Alone 1. And I know that's kind of a divisive subject, but for me it is the topper tier Home Alone film. Topper tier? Maybe it's the Rob Schneider and Tim Curry of it all. Then on Boxing Day, finally got round to fully watching Reanimator. This is the second sight 4K that came out earlier in the month. It looks absolutely incredible, and as I noted in my review, from the various clips that I watched, needed to go and actually properly sit down and watch it all the way through. Second time that I've watched this film this year, and it doesn't stop being just a great time. 4 out of 5 for me in this wonderful limited edition. Would absolutely recommend. Reanimator probably for your next Halloween watch. It's not really a January film. And then we are safely in that like Christmas to New Year weird time period where everything feels like a little bit of a blur. So what better way to spend that time than to go to the cinema, do a double bill. The first film watched was Anaconda. This is the Jack Black, Paul Rudd film about them remaking the Anaconda film, but not them remaking, their characters remaking. It's a bit of a weird concept, to be honest with you. It was a 2 out of 5. It was just a stupid film. Like, I would probably be upset if I was paying money to see it in the cinema. Like, having a Cineworld Unlimited card definitely makes seeing films like that a little bit, went on a little bit long, probably could have been trimmed down a decent chunk. But is it going to be something that you'd enjoy popping on in the background? Yeah, it probably is. And then literally right after that, and I mean as soon as Anaconda finished, had to rush into the next screen to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash. This is the third film in James Cameron's Avatar saga. You can't really call it a trilogy because apparently there's 2 more coming out, but this was a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Visually and technically, this is an absolute marvel, though it felt very similar. Like, there's so many different story beats that are like, oh well, this happened in The Way of Water, this happened in The Way of Water, this exact scene happened in The Way of Water. Yeah, it was fine, but like I said, Watched it in IMAX 3D, technical marvel, but the story is just kind of lacking, but the visuals and the spectacle kind of carries it as much as it can. But did it need to be nearly 3.5 hours long? Probably not. And because my day of mid films weren't filled with enough mid films, I came home and I watched Dwayne Johnson's Hercules. Oh, this is a stinker. It's a 2 out of 5. You know what? Some of the battle scenes in it are really cool, and I love Ian McShane's character. I love generally anything that Ian McShane does, but there are a couple of like redeeming bits, but for the majority, it's just a mid film. Like, it is really, really mid. And then we had another triple feature day, and this is just for a placeholder because we watched this on streaming, but then since watching this, the 4Ks came in because it went on to really cheap sale, and that was Elf. I mean, this is the Will Ferrell like mid 2000s film. I rated this a 3 out of 5. There was a lot of bits in it that really made me chuckle and reminded me that actually I quite enjoy this film. So had to pick it up on physical media. Annoyingly didn't have a slip, but Elf, really excited to watch this on 4K next year. So stick around on the channel for 12 months and then you'll, know what I thought of Elf in 2026 or Christmas 2026. Then the final Chris Columbus film of the year, and that was Mrs. Doubtfire. This is a film that started while I was at my mum's earlier in the month, and I was like, you know what, I've got to properly finish it because it's Mrs. Doubtfire and it's a great time. This is a 5 out of 5 for me on pure nostalgia and love for the family member that showed me this and watched it with me as a kid. I just absolutely adore this movie. And then watched Miracle on 34th Street as I was in that like Christmassy nostalgia, like warm vibe. Had to watch this. Sir Richard Attenborough playing Santa Claus. It is just, yeah, it is a Christmas vibe, and it's a 4 out of 5 from me, as you can probably guess. I've quite enjoyed some of these heartwarming Christmas films. Then popped out to the cinema to see The Housemaid. This is the new Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, like comedy drama based on a series of books. Went into this pretty blind. My other half was like, this is a pretty smutty film. It was reasonably smutty, not as smutty as I thought. It's a fun time. It's a 3 out of 5. It is an enjoyable time at the cinema. It's something that is unfortunately probably going to get lost to streaming, but I would recommend, if you're watching this and it's still in cinemas, go and support the film. Paul Feig hasn't made anything like super great in quite a while, and it's good to see him finally back on track. Then watched Thumbelina. This is a nostalgia watch for my other half, and it was very interesting. I never watched this as a kid. It was 2.5 out of 5 for me. It's just like, it is just crazy. Like, there is so many things that happen in this film where I was like, have I fell asleep and woke up in a different movie? Like, just, yeah, it is a fever dream, to say the least. It's a Don Bluth picture, so that should probably give you an idea of like what you're getting into if you're aware of his animation and his company. But yeah, Thumbelina. And the probably final Christmas film of the year, I watched The Holdovers. This is Alexander Payne's 2023 like coming of age period piece Christmas film starring Paul Giamatti. When I talk about vibe and like the vibe of Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, this is vibe. Like, I've watched this I think I've watched this like 3 times in the last 2 years. I really, really, really enjoy this film. It's currently streaming on Netflix in the UK. I would absolutely recommend watching it. There is not much to say about it apart from Paul Giamatti is a stay-in teacher at a boys' boarding school, and one of the students gets holed over the Christmas period, and then various things ensue. But it is a really, really good film. It's 4 out of 5 from me. And then we're at New Year's Eve. So my New Year's Eve tradition, and this is for the past 2 years, so hopefully it'll become a tradition if I do it this year, I guess, but it is seeing a Disney film in the cinema on New Year's Eve. This year's one was Zootropolis 2. This was a 3.5 out of 5 for me. probably didn't hit the same beats as much as Zootropolis 1 did, but I really enjoyed it. Nice, no one in the cinema. It was just a really enjoyable morning watch for me. And there are a lot of good, interesting points in it. I'm really excited to actually rewatch it at home and just kind of take it all in. There's also loads of like really niche references. They dedicate like a good 30 seconds to just putting a Shining reference in there, and I was like, this is great. They have to animate it and it looks brilliant. Then I watched Being Eddie. This is Netflix's new documentary around Eddie Murphy. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was a good dark, lots of just talking head segments, not too much behind the scenes, but I did critique it in the fact that it didn't really go into too much of like the darker times, or like they kind of touched on a couple of his flops, like talked about personal life, but didn't talk about like any of the stuff that happened with, you know, like previous ex-wives like Mel B from the Spice Girls and stuff like that. It was a bit more of a fluff piece more than anything, but it's an interesting documentary. It's about an hour and a half long, so not too long in the tooth. If you're an Eddie Murphy fan, I definitely recommend checking it out. And then the final film for the year, and this was purely because my other half was up to 299 films watched this year, so the 300th film had to be 300. Now this is a 3 out of 5, and my goodness, the filter, like, I mean, it is Zack Snyder, it's 2006, but the filter on it was just so quite egregious. The Atmos track on this 4K is phenomenal though. The picture is reasonably serviceable, and you can kind of tell how it was shot and how it was like just kind of unable to be pulled out of what they wanted. But either way, it's a relatively good time, but I'm not sure whether it's a film that I'm going to keep in the collection. Like, with it being a rewatch, it was good, but yeah, I think this might get relegated. I think this might get sold. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure whether it's worth keeping around for something that I'm going to rewatch all the time. I'll toy on that. And that is everything that I watched in the month of December 2025. What a month. What a month. I had a really enjoyable time with it all. Got to see some great films in the cinema. Got to watch some great Christmas movies. But wow, what a time. What was your favourite thing that you watched this month? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you again for watching this episode of Cue the Credits. Remember to like, subscribe, and drop me that comment below. Share it with your friends. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!